And don't ever let anybody tell you that it's too late. As long as your memory works, I don't care if you didn't extract meaning from your experiences while they happened. What are you going to do? Quit? Say it's too late? If you can remember your experiences, you can sit by yourself on a couch in the woods without any input from anybody and think it through. What has your life been showing you? Pattern recognition is the most important tool. It is the spirit that guides that ability. Now, this is very important. Hear me on this, so that you people understand something. Do not objectify the spirit. When I say objectify, that means an object or thing outside of yourself. Some God watching you, looking down on you. Don't do that. You're tempted to do that. You want its help, right? You can't perceive the spirit. No matter how hard you try, you're not going to be able to do that. And as soon as you objectify it as a deity or something that is trying to help you from outside of you, you get into real trouble. Why? Because that can now be debated. If you're going to put the author of life outside of yourself, that means you're looking outside of yourself for meaning. Therefore, debates are also outside of yourself. So one day, you may be really faithful. You may feel so much confidence in God. And then this reality and that which controls it coordinates things so that you run into debates and information and videos or your own thoughts that negate the objectivity of this God. And now your addictions rise again, your negative feelings rise again, you become in denial again. Of course. Why are you looking for a source? What should your faith be in then? What is your choice? Well, you can either choose observable lies. You observe lies every day in your world. You can choose to adhere to those and be allegiant to lies because you can observe them. Or you can be allegiant and adhere to the unobservable truth. The truth is not in debate, and it certainly is not of the mind. You feel the truth. Meaning, say the hunting of deer does something horrible to your heart when you think about it, that humans have actually gotten to the point where they'll take weapons and kill an innocent vegetarian animal and call it a sport. And just because the entire world reinforces that, if you submit to that norm, then what are you doing other than killing your soul? Just because your reality doesn't confirm what you feel is correct inside doesn't mean that you should adhere to the observable lies or your reality or the norm. It's got to come from somewhere, right? Your feeling. I don't care if your reality confirms it. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? I wouldn't say this lightly or without certainty. I have had a path. You've got to trust that my knowledge has come from that path. Whether you know what that path is or not, you must hear me now. If you feel what is correct inside, it's got to come from somewhere, but you don't need to trace the source. And believe me, the source is unconcerned right now with you doing that. You've got to trust me on that. You've got to go with what you feel is right. If you have a job and you know, you're like, God, I'm forced to lie in my job. And the lies are starting to really get to me. And everybody at work, they don't even seem concerned about it. And I complain about it and people say, well, you got to make money. But something inside me says, this is wrong. I don't know exactly why it's wrong. Or maybe I don't have the total understanding because nobody else in this reality or very few people in this reality seem to confirm it. And I know I can't function the way I used to if I go from it, but something inside that's not of the academic system, not of the media, not of the norm, is telling me this is wrong. And you ignore that to submit to the observable lie, that's killing your spirit. Don't believe me? Follow your feeling. Honor it and see how you feel. I had my own business, my own clinic. Making 6 figures was easy for me. I walked away from it all, and I couldn't have been solicited to do so. I couldn't have heard somebody talk about it to motivate me to do that. It's something that slowly occurred inside. I got tired of charging. I felt, even though I was very good at what I did, and people chose me, they drove from other states to come see me, bypassing their local healthcare. I realized I'm not solving their problem. It may appear that way, but all I'm doing is moving it. I'm moving it to a financial problem. They shouldn't have to pay for this. They shouldn't have to pay for my time. So I decided to lower prices. Extremely lower them. And I got heat from the state board, because they didn't want all the other crooks to have to lower their prices too. It got to the point where I didn't even care if I could afford to pay rent at my office. I'd just go to their home if I had to, because I felt alive. This came from within me, not some video that I saw one day. My whole life, looking back on my whole life, what made me happy, what didn't? What are my gifts? How did I affect people positively, and how did I affect them negatively? Putting all of these things together, looking inward. Everything you need has been in your individual path. You've got to trust me on that. It's not in a 9/11 propaganda video. That may catalyze you to shake up your paradigm, which in some cases may be good, but if you magnetically bond yourself to it, now you're way off your path. I closed down my business to do this for free. People ask what the wake-up is. That is the wake-up. When you dramatically change your life because of conclusions that you come to, from the extraction of meaning, understandings you've gained from your life. Meaning, you don't need another person's opinion to come to these conclusions, and they ring true with your heart. The unobservable truth that you feel, regardless of the source, don't bother trying to find the source. It's unnecessary right now. Do not objectify God. You don't need to do that. And it doesn't need you to do that. You've got to trust me on that. Your spirit's in you. It's been laying breadcrumbs down for you your whole life. It's not too late. Those breadcrumbs are still there. But you've got to want to do it. How do you begin to want to do it? By putting 2 and 2 together. You don't need to put 2 and 2 together necessarily of all this information you're being flooded with. You need to look inside. Everything I tell you has come from my path. I address other situations. Do you know, I don't like to talk about the New World Order. I don't like to talk about mind control. I don't like to talk about entities or the all-seeing eye. Because that isn't of me. It has nothing to do with me or what makes me me. That's why I don't like to talk about it. Why do I? Because it just happens to be something that is keeping all of you from knowing yourself. So unfortunately, I have to address it. And I'll address it in a broad recording like this, but day to day when I meet different people, I don't go up and talk about the New World Order to everybody. And that's another thing, people. I get a lot of people, John, how do you handle these entities? I'm starting to open up my psyche and you know, they're doing these things to me. Suck it up. I don't know what to say.